right, boys and girls, here we go. I'm going to show you how to draw your own cityscape. Here's my paper. Notice how I have it going lengthwise or horizontal. Okay, we don't want the paper to be nice and tall. We want to have it landscape style because we are making a type of scape called a cityscape. First thing you're going to do is about 2 inches, 2 to 3 inches up your paper. You're going to draw a line across. I'm using a marker just so you can see it a little bit better, but you should be using pencil. It doesn't have to be a perfectly straight line. Then you're going to start to add some rectangles in the middle of that space below. What do you think it is I'm making right now? If you guessed a road, you are right. I'm using rectangles to create those dashed lines on the road that are usually yellow. Okay. Next, right above that line that I drew first, I'm going to do another line all the way across. I tried to keep it about the same width going all the way across. It's a little tricky. I think it got a little bit wider here, but that's okay. Then about a ½ inch or 3/4 of an inch above that line, you're going to do another line. What do you think I'm going to make with this? What do you think? If you guessed a sidewalk, you are correct. This is going to give our cityscape a little bit of depth. It's going to make it look a little bit more realistic. So I'm going to draw the lines that we see in a sidewalk, and I'm going to kind of draw them at an angle. So now we have our road, but then it also looks like the sidewalk kind of steps up from the road and goes into the picture, just like a real sidewalk. Next to the sidewalk, right above it, we're going to start to make our buildings. So we're going to use all different shapes to make our buildings. Maybe some of the buildings are rectangle shaped, maybe they're square shaped. We're also going to make our buildings be different heights. Okay, so some are going to be small, some are going to be really tall. Some of my buildings are right next to each other. Okay, some of them are not. Some of them I leave a little bit of space. Maybe some of your buildings are so tall that they go off your paper. It's totally up to you how you want to draw your buildings. I'm going to do one more right here, okay? If you want to add a few buildings behind other buildings, okay, go ahead. Just make sure you don't draw through any of the other lines. That's how we do successful overlapping. We've talked about this a little bit in art. Now you can go ahead and you can start adding in some windows. So start thinking about the shapes you see in a city. Any buildings that are behind other buildings, the window should be smaller than the building in front of it. That's called size variation. And that's what makes our pictures look more realistic in art. Okay, so my windows in this building are bigger than the windows in this building, even though they're both squares, because this building is behind this one. I don't have to just use square shape. I can use circles. You're going to fill up all of your cities. Don't forget to add doors to your buildings. Maybe some of the doors are bigger than others. This is a big building, so I'm giving it a big wide door. Maybe some of your windows are in different directions than your other buildings. Okay, you're going to keep going. Maybe you have some triangle-shaped windows. That would be cool. You can add some details to the top. I just gave a little antenna. Let's make that look a little more like an antenna, okay? And you're going to keep adding in details to all your buildings, and then the last thing you're going to do is add in some things to the background. Maybe you want to add in a little sun. Maybe it's a sunny day in your city. Maybe it's a rainy day in your city. Maybe your city is not a city in the United States at all. Maybe it's a city in outer space, and there's different planets in a solar system around your buildings, okay? And you know what? I made a mistake. I said that was the last thing that you could do, but there is always one more thing you can do, which is add color, baby, color. So you could color in this whole city when you're done, okay? But but you don't have to. And if you're making your city using one of the websites because you don't have paper and pencil at home, that's okay too. You can still follow the same steps by drawing the lines in first and using the shapes to build your city. We just made this city using line and shape. And if you have time to add in color, you're using color also. I can't wait to see how they turn out.